Every day for the past 7 years, Mr. Devraj, a 61-year-old security guard, had stood at the front gate of Crescent Towers, a luxury high-rise in Mumbai. He wore a faded uniform, carried a rusted lunch tin, and greeted every resident with a nod and folded hands. Most people barely glanced at him, especially not Kabir Malhotra, the 32-year-old tech millionaire who lived in the penthouse. Fast cars, late-night parties, and endless calls defined Kabir's life. He passed Devraj each day without eye contact, always talking into his Bluetooth earpiece. But Devraj never missed a thing. He noticed Kabir coming home later and later. He noticed the laughter in Kabir's voice vanish. And one night, after a heated phone call in the driveway, Kabir sat in his car for 20 minutes, staring at the dashboard. Still, the next morning, Devraj saluted him with a gentle, "Good morning, sir." Kabir didn't reply, but he would soon. And when he did, it would not be to give an order, but to listen. It was past midnight when Kabir's sports car rolled into the driveway again. Devraj, finishing his night shift tea, noticed something unusual. Kabir sat in the car, unmoving, engine running, face pale. Minutes passed. Devraj stepped out from his booth. "Sir, everything all right?" Kabir looked up, startled. "Yeah, just tired." Devraj hesitated, then did something unusual. He pulled a stool and sat a few feet away. "You look more than tired. You look lost." Kabir stared at him. "What would you know?" Devraj didn't flinch. "Probably nothing, but I've watched 1,000 people walk through those gates pretending to be fine when they're breaking inside." Kabir exhaled sharply. Then slowly he said, "My mother passed away last week. I didn't go. I was closing a deal." Silence. Devraj nodded softly. "And now the deal feels empty?" Kabir's eyes welled up. "I didn't even pick up when she called. I was too busy chasing a number." For the first time, the millionaire and the guard just sat. No pretense, no titles, just two men sharing the weight of regret. Devraj didn't offer pity. He didn't offer advice. Instead, he spoke softly. "My son died 6 years ago in an accident. I was on duty here. I didn't pick up the call either. I told myself I'd call him later." Kabir looked up sharply. His lips parted, but no words came. "I've cleaned this gate every day since," Devraj continued. "Not because the job needs it, but because I hoped that maybe doing it right now will clean away the moment I wasn't there for him." Tears slid down Kabir's cheeks. Devraj handed him a handkerchief, not new, but clean and carefully folded. "I don't know what you lost, but I know the weight that follows." Kabir whispered, "How do you live with it?" Devraj looked at the stars above the tall building. "By doing something with the time I have now, that would make him proud." And those simple words, unpolished, unplanned, made the millionaire cry harder than he ever had before. The next morning, for the first time, Kabir stopped at the gate. He folded his hands and greeted Devraj. "Good morning, sir." Devraj smiled. "Good morning, beta." Kabir made changes quickly. He cut back on meetings, took a break from travel, and quietly funded a community reading center dedicated to single fathers. But more than that, he returned to his mother's hometown, rebuilt the old family home she'd once begged him to visit, and planted a garden in her memory. He called Devraj one evening and said, "It wasn't therapy or time that helped me first. It was your words." Devraj replied, "I didn't give you advice, sir. I just told you the truth." Word spread in the building. The guard made the millionaire cry, they whispered. But what they didn't understand was it wasn't about crying. It was about healing. Months later, Kabir hosted a private event at the building's rooftop garden, a quiet gathering to unveil a small memorial bench inscribed with, "For the words that saved me." Everyone expected a famous name, but on the plaque, it simply read, "Devraj, with gratitude." When asked to speak, Kabir took the mic and said, "We spend our lives chasing numbers, followers, success. But sometimes the one who sees you is the man holding the gate open." He paused, then added, "If I had listened to my mother the way I listened to Devraj, maybe she'd still be here." Devraj was seated in the back, hands folded, eyes down. But tears lined his face. As people applauded, Kabir walked to him, touched his feet, and hugged him tight. That video went viral, not because a millionaire cried, but because a humble man with a broken heart chose to speak, and in doing so, helped another heart begin to heal. And that's the power of being seen. Because the guard was never just a guard. He was the reminder we all need, that no one is invisible when their truth is finally heard.